waltzes into the room, and it is very exciting when we get a referral, isn't it? I know that I get excited when somebody comes to me and say, "Oh, so and so sent me your direction because they said that you're a great voice teacher or that you're a great business coach." Referrals are wonderful. Now, this is what we call passive referrals, right? They come as a result of the fabulous service that you provide, because somebody was happy about their experience with you, and clients will naturally tell other people when they're happy about things. But not everybody in your sphere is going to remember that they need to mention your stuff. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about referrals and how we can actually build an active referral marketing campaign in our businesses so that we can get in touch with more of the people that we know we're going to love to work with. Because if a client is suggesting you to a friend, yeah, that's right, I said it right. If a client is suggesting you to a friend, colleague, etc., that's a good thing because you like that client and they probably have other people in their sphere that you're going to like. So the idea is that we really can influence an active referral marketing program in our studio. And we're going to unpack that today. We're going to go through 5 different steps in order to build an active referral marketing strategy. And I'm so excited to talk to you all about this because I think that this is a really good conversation to have in our industry, because our industry kind of treats referral marketing, like I said at the top, as this magical unicorn that just happens when you have a studio that's been open X number of years, or when you have X number of clients, and that it's something that just occurs. And while part of that is true, getting a good referral marketing strategy in place can be an active thing. So we're going to go through all those steps today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are tuning in live, let me know where you're coming from, and let me know, what percentage of the new clients in your studio come from referrals. I'd really like to know that, especially for those of you who are kind of newer with your business. What kind of percentage are you looking at? Are we looking at 10% for those who are kind of newer? If you've had an established business, are you looking at 75%? So let me know that. Where are you coming from and what kind of referrals are you getting in your business? We're going to jump into things in just a minute, but before we do that, let's play a little music while I make sure that all of the links are going live. Here we go. All right, I'm actually still changing the links behind the scenes because I moused back and it didn't quite work how I wanted to. Okay, the links are live. We are good to go. Let's get to it today. So, if you are joining me and you've never seen me before, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Sara Campbell. I am a business strategist, mindset and marketing coach for music studio owners, independent music teachers just like you. And I go live here every Wednesday where we pick one of those topics and we unpack it. So today we're going to be talking about the marketing side of things, and we're going to be making a very clear list that will help you start to increase the number of referrals that come into your space. Speaking of referrals, here at Savvy Music Studio, that's one of the things that we rely on as well. So if you have a friend who you think could benefit from this conversation or could benefit from joining the email list, visiting the website, please let them know that we're here. And I thank you immensely for doing that. And we're going to talk about that whole thanks and incentive thing. It's part of our topic today. All right, let me bring up a couple more things before we get right to the points today. We love to have conversations here. So if you hear something that's valuable to you, give us a hashtag takeaway. Let us know what that valuable thing is. And if you have something that you would like to contribute to the conversation, if you are live, please go ahead and put that down below, and I'll be able to bring that up onto the screen during the live broadcast. If you are watching this on the replay later on, know that we love to keep the conversation going. And act like it's live. I will be back to have a conversation with you if you ever have any questions or have any comments that spark a conversation. All right, so let's get to it. We do have the Savvy Sara bot set up. And if you were on Facebook or Instagram, if you drop the word referral, you will be able to get a hold of the documents that we are going over today and all the tips and tricks that we're going to be discussing. So go ahead and drop that word referral. If you're watching on YouTube, if you look in the live chat, you will see a link that I've dropped there, and you can click that link to get a hold of what I just talked about. And if you're watching later on YouTube, that link will also be embedded into the description. So just head on down to the description to get a hold of the show notes. All right, so let's take a slight pause to say hello to everyone. Hey there, Brandon's tuning in on YouTube. I see Susan's tuning in. Let's see, we'll bring everybody up today. Yay, Brandon's tuning in. Susan is tuning in from Toledo. So nice to hear from you, Susan. Pete's here from Detroit. Oh my gosh, that's so weird, Pete. I'm not used to you being from Detroit. Congrats on the move. Amy's tuning in from sunny Florida. We got Christina, turning in from Detroit. And we see Deborah is tuning in from Rochester. And I see Christina is saying that she gets 60% word of mouth. That's great. Deborah also says she has a high percentage of referral rates. Good morning or good afternoon, Jana from Chicago. I think technically it's still morning there. Excellent. Hey there, Patricia. Nice to see you. Okay. That's one of my favorite parts, is just saying hi to y'all. All right, let's do this. So I would love to open the conversation by talking about the difference between passive and active referral marketing, because in our industry, it's so fascinating to me. This is so fascinating. I will often see somebody post like in a forum and ask, the question, what are some of your favorite marketing strategies for your music studio? Or they'll say, like, how do you get the word out about your studio? How do you get students? And there will be a great conversation that goes along and lots of great tips from teachers. And one of the things that I see, which I think is really interesting, is that some of the answers are things like, oh, I don't market my studio at all. Everything is through word of mouth and I get referrals, which is fascinating to me because referrals are actually a form of marketing. And we can either be passive in our referral marketing strategy, or we can be active in our referral marketing strategy. Now, at a certain point, when you're really well known in an area, you may not need to be active. But even so, I do encourage people to put some things into place so that you do encourage the clients that you love the most to start spreading the word about you. So I said this earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it for those of you who are just tuning in. Passive referrals, those come as a result of the fabulous services that you provide. Because you know what I say at the end, like, y'all are fabulous teachers, right? You're really good at teaching. I know that. And so do your clients. And so those referrals that you're getting, even if you haven't encouraged them, are coming as a result of those services. So at the base, the foundation of a good, building a good active referral marketing, the foundation is providing great services. We already know that you're doing that. And when a client experiences those services, if they are happy, there's a natural inclination for them to tell other people about it, right? But not everybody is going to remember to pass the word along. We're busy, and they may have like 4 kids running them around to all kinds of different things. They may be a professional adult who is really busy and, running from one activity to another, auditions, etc. So they might not remember to pass along a referral. So this is where active referral marketing can become really helpful. And here are 5 tips that we're going to go through that's going to help you build an active referral strategy. I love it. Gianna says, I already put on my brave pants for the day, so it doesn't feel like morning anymore. I'm going to let y'all in on a little bit of secret. I'm wearing pajama pants right now. Dun, dun, dun. That's one of the things I love about working from home, especially when you're on Zoom. All right, so pajama pants to the rescue. Let's do this. So the first step in building an active referral marketing strategy is this, and this is important. The first step is to start to develop your referral mindset, right? So I did a lot of digging around in this past week because I was really excited about talking about this topic. And a lot of the things that I was reading, this idea of developing a referral mindset kept coming up again and again and again. And this is something that I kind of naturally fall into, and I think a lot of us do too. Being a small business owner, you probably know a lot of other small business owners, and I love to go to small businesses and support them. And so one of the things that I do is, making sure that I'm passing along the word about other small businesses in my area or medium-sized businesses. So that the idea is, like here's a really specific way that we can start developing this mindset. If this isn't something that you're already doing, if you're not giving referrals to other businesses, I want you to take a look. I want you to take a look at the clients that you have, the parents, or if you teach adults, and I want you to think like, okay, how many of these people run their own businesses? Whether they own a small business or maybe they're involved in, some type of an MLM. Yes, they're not all bad. They get a bad rap, but anyway. So think about, like, do you have clients in your space that have small businesses? A beautiful gesture would be to talk to them about what they do and to ask if, what kind of clients do you serve? Maybe there could be people in my sphere of influence that I could send to you. That's a beautiful gesture, first and foremost. And then also think about the other businesses that are in your local vicinity, or if you're like in an online space, maybe there are some other businesses, like people that you know of, some other solopreneurs that you could start referring people to their business because they do something slightly different than you. By giving out referrals, people in your sphere are more likely to recommend your business. It all comes back to what they call the reciprocity principle. And I'll read like a little sentence that I really liked. I found this in a blog article from, what was this from? It's from HubSpot. I love this. I'm going to read it out loud. If you want to get referrals, you should also give referrals. This is a play on the reciprocity principle that states people want to return the favors given to them. So help your contacts and acquaintances grow their businesses by connecting them with people in your network, and they'll feel inclined to return the favor. I just thought that was so wonderfully written. So that's the first step, developing that referral mindset. And I would love to know from those who are watching right now, I want you to share here below who are some of the people that you might want to start referring to a little bit more, even if it's like a business that's completely unrelated. Think about the people that you could help out. Hey there, I see Pharaoh McKinney's over on Instagram. Nice to see you. I'm going to make sure that I get that guide to you. Sometimes the Instagram bot doesn't send things out. So I'll write down your name and make sure that we get that to you. All right. Oh, here, this is a great example. Beautiful. Let's bring Amy's point up on the screen. She says, yes, I refer a local child's photographer, and although she isn't my client, she refers me. So that's fantastic. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that we're talking about. So I want you to spend some time looking through the people that you have in your studio and thinking about how can I support them best. I'll give an example of one of the clients that, she's no longer in my studio because she graduated. Oh, my kids are graduating. Anyway, their parents own a farm, and it is amazing. They have the most amazing products and produce, and so I always talk to people about that. Like if they're asking, like, where can I get the best so-and-so? Then I will say, oh man, you got to go to Walnut Hill Farms. They're open on Thursdays and Saturdays. Let them know, let Mike know that I sent you. Just little small efforts to really help people out. Another idea would be like, hey, if you have a piano tuner, hey, piano teachers, if you got a piano tuner, refer all your students to that piano tuner. Back in the day, I remember like getting discounts because I referred so many people to my piano tuner. Referrals go a long way. So that's the first thing. Develop that referral mindset. Let's get to the second part here. So remember to share, who are you referring to? Let us know that below like Amy did. Okay, here's our second point. The second point. Okay, so now we get into like building the actual active act, for lack of a better word, of how do we build this strategy out. So we need to know when to ask for referrals. Now, I'm just going to say this from the top. You can always ask for referrals, but there are going to be specific moments where it's going to be a little bit more effective. Coffee break. Yes, I got a teal thing to match my stuff. Oh, and actually, this reminds me of another referral. Within walking distance from my studio is O'Neill's Coffee. And I actually, when they opened up their little cafe area, I started suggesting to all of my students, parents, to like during that 45 minutes, hey, you can go get a coffee or a tea or a scone or something. So exactly, Pete. The power of coffee, the power and love of coffee. Okay, so Christina, I love that question. Let me pause this point, and I'm going to. There we go. Okay, so Christina, so how do you initiate the conversation to parents about what they do for work? Now, if you want, like, you could definitely do this in person. I'm so glad you asked this question. You could do that in person, and just, at the end of the lesson, pop up maybe in the last few minutes, give yourself a little buffer of time, right? To say, hey, I know this is going to sound a little weird, but I'm asking all of my parents here, what do you do for work? Is there any way that I can support you, sending people to your business, etc., like that? You could just have that straight up conversation. And even if it's not, a place that you can send them, they're going to appreciate you getting to know them a little bit better. And if that doesn't feel doable to you, you can also send out an email. Send out an email to your whole studio saying, how can we best support you or your business, right? And just say, I would love to have a list. I know that some of you here are business owners as well. I would love to have a list of the businesses that you own so that I can send people that I know to you, right? So let's see. What if a student gets dropped off? I tell you what, Christina, I've done that a million times. And so I am that person that walks outside into the parking lot to have conversations. Let's do a gig at O'Neill's. I love it. That place, it's so cool. That place is so cool. Pete, you'd love it. Okay, so let's get back to our second point here. So knowing when to ask for referrals. Speaking to Christina's point there, you can ask at any time. If you don't already know what people do, ask them what they do. They're going to appreciate that. It makes them feel like the most important person in the room, right? But let's we're going to pretend that my footstool didn't just fall. Let's pretend that didn't just happen and move on to the next point. The thing is, there are specific points when we have this beautiful opportunity to ask for referrals, and sometimes we skip over it. So if you want a steady stream of referrals coming in, we need to ask for them. So the best time to ask for those referrals is when your clients are happy. So if they have left you a review, if they have sent you a glowing text message or an email or given you positive feedback, that might be a great moment. Not might, it is. It's a great moment to say, oh my goodness, thank you so much for this. Your words just absolutely made my day. This might sound a little forward. You can even say that if it feels awkward to you. Go ahead. I would love if you knew of any people in your world that could benefit from joining the studio. Please know that we do have some openings. Like if I could clone people like you, I would. Just be genuine in the way that you're saying it. So find those moments. And if you want, you can even develop a little kind of script. And to say, after somebody leaves a review for you on Facebook or on Google, because that's a really hot lead right there, right? If they leave that, then have a script that you can send them as a thank you. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. We so appreciate you here in the studio. If you ever have any friends or family who would love to join us, here's how you can refer them. Right? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Great. Jana has a great point to what Christina just said or asked earlier. She said, ask on an enrollment form or in the initial interview. It can be very organic as a bit of get to know you. Jana, that's fantastic. Yay. Okay, I see some good takeaways. Laura's saying reach out to parents. That's so good. Pete says, yeah, walk them out of the studio. I do that, especially in the summertime. I know up In the Northeast, Midwest, in the wintertime, that is not a possibility. So text them ahead of time and ask them to come in, right? Ask them to come in. So we've talked about, developing our referral mindset. We've talked about like knowing when to ask for referrals. Then let's talk about how to ask for referrals. I think we've already kind of touched on this a bit, but let's expand on it. So keep it direct and keep it personal. If somebody leaves you that review, thank them for it. Tell them how it made you feel. Probably made you feel really good, right? If someone goes out of their way to give you positive feedback, recognize that and celebrate it with them. And that could be your moment if you have spaces in your studio to make that ask. So I'll give a very specific example. I'm not taking on any new students, but yesterday I had the most beautiful thing happen. Very beautiful, unexpected thing. I received a present, a wrapped present in February from a grandmother of one of the students that I teach. And inside of it was a note that made me cry and a handmade, a quilted, what do you call them? Table runner. I was like, oh my goodness, like this just like hits me in the feels so much. And so, if I were looking for new students as part of my thank you to this grandparent, I would, I would thank her for the kind words, for the opportunity to be teaching her grandson, and to tell her, if you ever know of anyone who you think would be a good fit in this studio, please feel free to pass them along. I would love to work with more people that are just like you. So I know, right? Hashtag not crying. It's true, Pete. It's true. Yeah. It's now sitting. I need to post a picture of it. It's sitting on my table. It looks so pretty. It has little bumblebees on it. Like, it's adorable. Okay. So we've gone through 3 of the points here. Let's head to point number 4. Oh, the kittens you can't see him now. He's behind me. He's directly behind me. They're being nefarious. They're up to no good, of course. Point number 4. Okay. So point number 4 is to find small reminder opportunities. And, this brings up a good part of this discussion where we need to recognize that building an active referral strategy is not something that's going to happen overnight. Referrals have to happen organically in many different ways, right? Somebody, they may have to wait until they're in touch with somebody who they think would be good for you, or maybe, they haven't met that person yet. But we can plant these seeds. And then we want to sprinkle little reminders in places and really make it easy for people to remember to do things like leave a review, or to make a referral. So some of the places that I think we can sprinkle those seeds, let's say we can sprinkle them in the lobby of our studio, right? You could have a little poster up there that says, do you have a friend who would love to take piano lessons? Like, here's how you can refer them. And we're going to expand that in a second here to like really outline things for them. Or let's say inside of your studio email signature, right? In your signature, below your name and your fancy title and your links to your socials, please have and your website, have all of those things in your signature. You can have a statement there about referring people to the studio. Another place that you could do this would be on your invoices, right? On your invoices, you could have a statement like, are you having a fabulous experience here at our studio? Please tell your family and friends, right? There's just so many little places that we can make that happen, right? So many little places that we can make that happen. So you may have other things that you do in your studio where you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I could include that little reminder in the program of our spring recital. Talk about a hot time to talk about it. If you, like me, used to do like a little speech at the beginning or end of the recital, that is a perfect opportunity. You literally have a captive audience, and they're happy because their child, or they just performed and did an amazing, scary, hard thing, right? that's a perfect opportunity to talk about, hey, if you've enjoyed this, I hope you've all had a fabulous time today. And I just want to remind everyone, if you know of a friend or a family member who would love to join us here at Sara's Music Studio, I would love to have them. So please feel free to pass along our website, etc. So there's just so many little things that we can do. Now, let's see. Final point here today. Yay, Cassandra. She says, yes, I do that after the recitals. Amy says, I love the invoice footer. And Cassandra, I saw that you made a little statement earlier, and I wanted to save it until now because this is where we're going to talk about incentives. So she said, give gift bags. So let's talk about referral incentives, yes or no. This all depends on kind of where you are in your business, right? So what's going on in your business right now? Sorry, I'm flipping around to make sure I'm not missing any of the Instagram comments. Okay, so really, this is totally up to you. You do not have to have a referral incentive program that costs you money. But you can, like, just depending on what your goals are. So let's look at some examples of referral incentives. Something that I used to do when I was first initially starting my studio up is that I did offer a pretty hefty referral incentive for people who referred other clients to the studio, and this is how it worked. So if they made a referral, and I always made sure to ask, like when new people got there, did anyone refer you to the studio, right? I will ask them. And if they made a referral, what would happen is this. If once that client had signed on, had been there for 3 months, okay, because I wanted to make sure that this was going to be a good fit. Once that person had been there for 3 months, then the person who referred them got 50% off their tuition that month. That was a pretty hefty thing, but when you did the math, it made sense. And I had a couple of families who were referring all kinds of people to us because that specific incentive really spoke to them, right? So you could have an incentive like that. It doesn't have to be something big like 50% off. It can be whatever you wish, right? It could be a Starbucks gift card, or rather, let's be honest, an O'Neill's gift card, but y'all can't have it because there's only one. I love this. Okay, so Christina is saying, like, I offer a monetary incentive, right? Excellent. Yeah, we'd like to get away from doing the money incentives. I think that's fine. So, like, think about what are some of the other incentives that will make people feel good. So it could be a little gift bag. It could be some studio swag. And that is going to cost some money, but that's also a little bit of marketing right there if it's studio swag that they can wear or something. But it could be something as simple as when somebody refers a client to your studio, take the time to write a handwritten thank you note and send it in the mail. Or give it to them in the studio. And if you were me, probably something that I would do is I would give them a small succulent because I have lots of succulents. And I propagate them like crazy, but like something that is meaningful to you. And, that is a small gesture to say thank you. Those won't cost a lot of time or money, but it means something, right? It means something. So think about what is it that you could do to have some type of little referral incentive in place, and, buy a little group of those thank you cards so that you have them ready to go, right? Put the stamps on the envelopes so they're ready to go. Make it easy for yourself so that it's something that, comes automatically in the process. All right. Let's see. Okay. I think we've gone through all of the points here today. If anyone has anything else you would like to contribute to the conversation, now is the time to do that. I'll bring that up on the screen. And before we get to our recap, I'm going to do a quick recap here for those who've tuned in later. A couple of things that I want to mention. So one, if this conversation has kind of got your gears turning, know that this is just one small aspect of what I do as a marketing coach. And if you are looking for someone to help you overhaul the marketing strategies that you are using in your business, I have one-off strategy sessions where we can do just that. And I'm actually really excited. I'm going to be doing one of these tomorrow morning. And, in these sessions, there's an intake form that you can fill out ahead of time that gives me an idea of what's going on. We're going to focus on identifying your goals. We're going to look at what is going on with your marketing strategy right now. And then we get really, really specific with, hey, okay, here's all the network marketing, here's the local marketing, here's the referral marketing, here's this, right? And you walk away from that session with a written out list of action steps for you to follow over the next 6 months. So if that is something that you are interested in, let me know. You can drop the word referral down below. I am going to be booking more of these sessions throughout the next couple of months. And so just wanted to let you know that's one of the services that I provide. And if you know somebody who could benefit from that service, maybe it's not you, but it's somebody else who you know is struggling with their marketing, please feel free to send them my way. And I'll make sure to send you a thank you note. Okay. See how referrals work? Okay. All right. I do see a couple of questions before we get to our recap. I see Jana says, do you have tips on getting referrals that are specifically pointed towards your ideal customers? I think I'm understanding what this means, Jana, but if you want to kind of clarify below as I answer this, that might be helpful. So getting referrals that are specifically pointed towards ideal customers, if that is the case, then what I would be doing is really focusing in on the people who are your ideal customers, right? Because you may have some people in your studio who are like, oh my gosh, like if I could take this student and have 10 of you, right? Then what we would do is in that process of asking for the referral, be very specific about, hey, if you have any friends or family members who are similar, who have similar goals like you do, let them know about us. And I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, Sally, let's connect. Okay, so let's get to the rapid recap, shall we? Yes. Okay, so the rapid recap here. This is where I get to go really fast. Y'all are ready? Okay. Give me your drum rolls, give me your thumbs, and give me your hearts if you've enjoyed today's conversation. Make sure to drop the word referral down below if you want any of the information that we talked about today. Now is the time for the drum roll as I get ready to speed recap. Here we go. Sometimes referrals happen magically on their own, like a unicorn. We're going to restart that, and I'm going to tell my VA that we restarted that. Sometimes referrals come in magically on their own, like a unicorn that just walks into the room and you're like, hey, unicorn, I'm so glad that you're here. That is what we call passive referrals. Now, if we have passive referrals, we can also have active referrals. And we can build an active referral marketing strategy if we cover these 5 tips. Here we go. Your first step is to start developing a referral mindset, because people are more likely to refer people to you if you are referring to other people. It all comes back to this reciprocity principle. So if you know people in your studio that own small businesses or that have businesses that you can recommend other people attend, get familiar with those and make recommendations to those. If you have people in your local area that are around your studio, get friendly with those businesses and let them know that you're sending people their way. The more we do this, the more likely they are to recommend your business. And it sets a really nice foundation for what's going to happen next. The second step is to know when to ask for referrals. If you want to create a steady stream of referrals, then we need to actually ask for them. And the best moment to do that is when clients are happy. So if somebody has left you a glowing review on Google or Facebook, etc., or if they have sent you a lovely note talking about the positive experience that they have had with you, that is the time to start asking for the referral. The third step is to know how to ask for the referral. And this takes practice. I realize it can feel awkward at first, but if we can remember to keep it direct and keep it personal and to practice this, it becomes easier over time. So if somebody comes to you and is raving about the fact that you helped their daughter get their lead in the high school musical, you can drop a little thing there that says, I am so proud of Caroline, and I just wish that I could find more students exactly like her. If she has any friends or if you have any family members that are as amazing as your daughter, like, please let them know about the studio. We'd love to have them here. Number 4 is to create opportunities for reminders, because we're not always going to remember to do the things, and it's nice to remind people of those things. So make it easier for people to remember to leave a review or to leave a referral. Some of my favorite places to do that would be, making a call to action in your email signature, maybe including a little note on your invoice footer, and putting up a sign in your studio lobby. And remember that when you're doing those recitals and you get up to do your speech at the beginning or the end, that is the perfect moment to ask for referrals. Finally, number 5, referral incentives, yes or no. Totally depends on what your business setup is like and what you want to be able to spend in that area of your marketing. You could offer incentives to offer discounts for people who refer others to the studio. You can figure out something like that. It could be as simple as a small gift card to a local coffee shop, or it could be a handwritten thank you note that you send in the mail whenever somebody refers someone to your studio. You get to decide what kind of incentive you want to put into that referral program. All right. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this broadcast. If you want to get more information about referral marketing and an opportunity to work one-on-one with me in a marketing strategy session where referral is just a very small part of what we're going to talk about, put the word referral down below and the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you. All right. Thank you for being here, everyone. I've really enjoyed our chat, and we will be back next week with more goodness on business and mindset and marketing and all of those things. And in the meantime, stay savvy and stay you, because you are an amazing teacher. You're really good at teaching. And there's no one in the world quite like you. And I think you're pretty dang awesome. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time.